Chapter 4. Food and Nourishment. Then an old innkeeper asked, "What is the relationship between food and that which is eaten?" Al-Mustafa answered, "Would that you could survive merely by inhaling the fragrance of the earth, and that the light rays giving life to flowers and leaves were enough to nourish you with the nectar of life. But since your hunger cannot be appeased without taking a life, and your thirst can only be quenched by weaning the newborn calf from its mother's breast, then let this act too be done with the feeling of offering an oblation at the feet of the Supreme Deity. Understand this, that the sacrifice of these innocent creatures of the forest and gardens is being offered by the silent command of the Lord of the universe for the satisfaction of a purer human soul. While slaying them, say to them in your heart, 'By the same power that slays you, I too am slain, and I too shall be consumed. For the law that delivered you into my hands, the slayer, will deliver me into the hands of a mightier slayer. Your blood and my blood share but one purpose, to nourish the single tree of the universe. When you crush an apple with your teeth, say to it in your heart, 'Your seeds shall live in my body. Their buds shall blossom in my heart. Their fragrance shall become my breath. And together we shall rejoice through all the seasons.' And when in the autumn you gather the grapes of your vineyards for the winepress, do not forget to say in your heart, 'I too am a vineyard, and my parts will be gathered for the winepress to seep. Like new wine, I too shall be kept in eternal vessels.' And in winter, when you draw the wine, let there be a song in your heart for every cup, and let that song surely remind you of the autumn days, the vineyards, and the winepress. Keep this in mind." Conclusion. Summary. In this chapter, the Messiah, Al-Mustafa, sheds light on the deep and spiritual relationship between food and the eaten, the object, creature consumed. Ideal state and reality. The Messiah states that the ideal condition would be if man could survive solely on air, sunlight, and the fragrance of flowers. But since we must depend on nature, plants, and animals to survive, our act of eating should not merely be to fill our stomachs, but a sacred ritual or an offering to God. Sense of equality and mortality. The Messiah explains that when we make a creature or plant our food, we should not have the ego that we are superior. Rather, we must remember that nature's law is equal, for all the power that ends that creature or plant today will, in the form of time, end us tomorrow. The life and blood of us all exist only to nourish this cosmic tree. Feeling of gratitude. Whether we are eating an apple or drinking wine made from grapes, we should be grateful to them. We should feel that the fruit is living a new life within us, becoming a part of our breath and thoughts. In short, this chapter teaches us that eating is an opportunity to express gratitude to nature. We should consume food with complete humility, respect, and the consciousness that we are all part of the same cosmic cycle. Chapter 5. The Purpose of Labor. Then a farmer asked, "What is the purpose of labor?" Al-Mustafa answered, "You work so that you may keep pace with the rhythm of the earth, the sky, the world, and the soul of the universe. For to be idle is to become a stranger unto the moving, animate, and inanimate world, and to step out of life's procession, which marches in royal majesty and proud submission towards the infinite. This labor turns you into a flute, through whose heart the whispering of the hours turns into music. Which of you would be a dumb and silent reed when all else in the courtyard of the universe sings together in a grand chorus? You have always been told that work is a curse and labor a misfortune. But I say to you, by working, you fulfill the eternal dream of Mother Earth, assigned to you when that dream was born. And in keeping yourself with labor, you are in truth loving life. And to love life through labor is to be intimate with life's inmost secrets. But if you in your pain call birth an affliction and the support of the flesh a curse written on your brow, then I answer, not but the sweat of your brow shall wash away that line of misfortune. You have also been told that life is darkness, and in your hours of weariness you echo what was said by the weary. But I say that life is indeed darkness, save when there is urge and motivation. And all urge is blind, save when there is the light of knowledge. And all knowledge is vain, save when there is work. Only by doing work inspired by love do you bind yourself, to one another, and to God. Do you know what form work done with love takes? It is to weave the cloth with threads drawn from your heart, even as if your beloved were to wear that cloth. It is to build a house with your own hands with affection for your desired beloved. It is to sow seeds with tenderness and reap the harvest, even as if your lover were to eat the fruit. It is to charge all the things you fashion with the breath of your own spirit, and to know that the inanimate beings standing about you watch you with attention. Often have I heard you say, as if speaking in sleep, "He who carves his imagination into white marble is nobler than the farmer who only sows grain in the soil of his field. And he who seizes the rainbow of the sky to lay it on canvas in the likeness of man is far greater than the cobbler who makes sandals for our feet." But I say, not in a dream, but in full wakefulness, that the wind treats the giant oak in the sky, and the grass spread upon the earth with equal regard. And he alone is great, who turns the howling of the wind into a sweet song through his own love. Work is love made visible. And if you cannot work with love but only out of helplessness, it is better that you leave your work and sit at the gate of the temple and take alms from those who work with joy. For if you bake bread with indifference, you bake a bitter bread that cannot even satisfy half of a man's hunger. And if you grudge the crushing of the grapes, your grudge distills a poison in the wine. And if you sing, though, as angels, and love not the singing, you merely fill man's ears with the noise of the day and night. Conclusion. Summary. In this chapter, a farmer asks the Messiah, Al-Mustafa, about the purpose of labor, work, or effort. The Messiah completely rejects the common perception of work as a burden or curse and describes it as a profoundly beautiful and spiritual part of life. Connection to the universe. The Messiah states that it is through work that we keep pace with the rhythm of this moving universe. Sitting idle, a person falls behind in the journey of creation. Work is love. According to the Messiah, work is love made visible. To love your work is to truly love life. When we do any work with love, be it weaving cloth, building a house, or sowing seeds, we should do it with the thought that we are doing it for our most beloved person. No work is inferior or superior. The Messiah explains that no work is superior or inferior to another. A sculptor is not greater than a farmer, nor a painter than a cobbler. Just as the wind treats a tall tree and the grass on the ground equally, so is every work great that is done with love. Work without love is vain. The deepest point the Messiah makes is that if you work without heart or out of compulsion, it is better to abandon the work and beg outside a temple. Because bread baked with indifference is bitter and cannot satisfy one's hunger. Any work done without love, no matter how artistic, is merely noise. In short, this chapter teaches us that our work is not just a means of livelihood, but an expression of our soul and a tangible manifestation of our love for God and humanity. Chapter 6. The Nature of Joy and Sorrow. Then a woman asked, "What are the forms of joy and sorrow?" Al-Mustafa said, "Your joy is your sorrow unmasked. And the selfsame well of your heart, from which your laughter rises, was oftentimes filled with your very tears. And how else can it be? The deeper that sorrow carves into your being, the more joy you can contain. Is not the cup that holds your wine today the very cup that was burned in the potter's glowing oven yesterday? And is not the lute that soothes your restless spirit today the very piece of wood that was hollowed with knives by the carpenter yesterday? When you are joyous, look deep into your heart, and you shall find that the cause of your joy today is the very thing that was your sorrow yesterday. When you are sorrowful, look again deep into your heart, and you shall feel that today you are weeping for that which you were laughing at yesterday. Some people say, joy is greater than sorrow. Others say, no, sorrow is greater than joy. But I say unto you, they are companions. They are inseparable. Together they are born. When one sits beside you awake, the other is waiting for you asleep upon your bed. The truth is that you are suspended like the pans of a scale between joy and sorrow. Only when you are empty are you at a standstill and balanced. The scales should only rise and fall when the Lord of the world himself lifts you to weigh his gold and his silver. Conclusion. Summary. In this chapter, a woman asks the Messiah, Al-Mustafa, about the nature of joy and sorrow. The Messiah profoundly explains that joy and sorrow are not separate but two sides of the same coin. They are inseparable companions. Common origin. The Messiah says that the very well of the heart from which our laughter ripples has also been filled with our tears. The thing that gives us joy today once made us weep, and what we weep for today once made us laugh. Sorrow increases the capacity for joy. The Messiah beautifully states that the deeper sorrow carves into our soul, the deeper the wound it inflicts, the more our capacity, space, to hold joy increases. Just as a cup must burn in the potter's fire before being filled with wine, and a flute must be hollowed and cut before it can produce sweet music. Both are equal. Neither joy nor sorrow is superior to the other. They are born together. When joy sits by our side, sorrow awaits us on our bed, and vice versa. Emptiness and balance. Finally, the Messiah says that man is suspended like the pans of a scale between joy and sorrow. We are in true balance and peace only when we are empty, void and still. This balance of ours should only be tipped when God himself, the Lord of the universe, wishes to weigh us with his experiences, gold and silver.